Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer not coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city. A little field trip today. We were out at the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. Guarantee Media turned 100 years old yesterday, and as part of our celebration, a day of service here at the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, and thrilled to be here for the next couple of hours. Of course, Matt Flynn, Richard Dixon were here for the morning show this morning. Matt Moscona will follow me from right here in this chair. And we're fired up to be with you here on this Tuesday. Got a lot to get to, We'll have Glenn West coming up in 30 minutes talking Tigers. LSU on the hardwood tonight in Gainesville. Will De'Don Thomas play? He might. I'll talk about that a little bit later. We'll talk Saints with Sharif Ishak coming up in 15 minutes. D1 Baseball came out with their All-American teams. A couple of Tigers prominently featured there. We're still waiting on Seton and Uman Mielen. Are they the final two pieces to LSU's transfer portal class? We'll get to that in hour number 2 as well. So lots and lots to do. We'll start it up the way we do every single day with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
We're going to start last night in Miami, Florida with the college football playoff final. I did a segment similar to this after I went to the Sugar Bowl when Ole Miss beat Georgia, because I think that there are some parallels here with what we saw last night and what we're seeing in college football. Just as I was going on the air, Duke is suing its quarterback who wants to leave and go to Miami for money, but he signed an NIL deal and they think he's supposed to stay. That is just one of the things that is going on in college sports right now that is not good. It's just not good. It's not good when schools are suing their players. There are a lot of things that are a complete mess. I don't know how sustainable it is for LSU to sign 41 transfers like they're about to by the end of the day today. 41. Like, that's a little bit nuts. But with all the craziness, however you feel about it, with all the craziness, when they get on the field, it's still awesome. And when they got on the field last night and they finished that game last night and the confetti fell and Indiana was crowned the national champions of college football, that's history that you're looking at. As great as it is to see a dynasty formed at Alabama, or to watch the unbelievable 5-star talent that's headed to the NFL that wears those Ohio State helmets, or as awesome as it was to see Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson make history in New Orleans. Like, those are expected outcomes. You expect LSU to be in those games. You expect Alabama to be in those games. You expect Ohio State and Clemson to be in those games. You expect Miami to make those games. But as I said yesterday, going off the air, and I lead in my show today, I have, for my entire career and really my entire life, viewed college football one way. You either have a 90,000-seat stadium in the middle of a recruiting hotbed with a ton of money and support, or you have no chance. That's the only way you have a chance. That's the way I've lived my entire life. LSU, South Louisiana, Death Valley, Saturday nights, like the history, the tradition, the recruiting advantages, championships. University of Alabama, heart of the Deep South, 100,000-seat stadium, access to Georgia and Alabama and Florida, 5-star recruits, championships. Ohio State, the Shoe, Ohio, densely populated, lots of great players, steeped in tradition. They can win championships. And I've always said you can't do that at Kansas State. You can't do that at Cal. You can't do that at Boston College. Can't be done at Baylor. I've said that forever and ever. I'm wrong. You can. And this morning, when you wake up and assess your college football fandom, no matter who you pull for in the power conferences, you got a shot. And as of 2 years ago, probably 1 year ago, I would have looked you dead in the face and said, you got no shot. If you're not one of these 13 fan bases, you've got no shot. And you do now. There's nothing flukish about what Indiana did. This is not one player that came on the scene and just led a revolution. This is 2 years of great football that Indiana has played, and it's not one player. In fact, it's not like 4 players. They don't have any 5 stars. They don't have many 4 stars. They have 8. They have 8 4-star recruits. They beat Oregon twice, crushed them the second time, beat them in Eugene. They beat Ohio State, and they took it to Miami last night. I'll tell you this, I didn't watch a lot of Miami September, October, November. I didn't. Y'all know my schedules on Saturday are pretty booked. I got some time for some SEC action. I'm not watching the ACC play much ball. I liked watching them play over the course of the playoff. Now, it helped that they beat the 2 teams that I wanted to lose the most, but they were physical. They were tough. They ran the football. They stopped the run. They've got 5-star talents. They've got guys that are going to be first-round NFL draft choices. Indiana straight up beat them. Well, yeah, Miami outgained them, but Indiana outplayed Miami last night. Kirk Cignetti worked a miracle. I still cannot sit here. I have a radio talk show. I cannot sit here and tell you how he pulled that off. I can't figure it out. It's a tired refrain at this point because I continue to say it, but I don't understand. I don't have the ability football-wise to internalize a team of 3-star recruits without first-round draft choices that is going out there and time and time and time and time again beating the teams that I grew up, that I've talked about, that have to win national championships. And Indiana's beating them. It's not like they beat them once. We're talking about 5 games against the teams that I'm talking about that they've won. It's not a fluke. They got it, made a play, blocked a punt. Game changer. Kurt Cignetti. We talked about this yesterday on the show about how I think that it's crazy that nobody will kick field goals anymore. And you're early in the 4th quarter. You've got a 3-point lead. It's 4th and 4. Like, I'm staring at my TV going, you gotta kick that. Like, going up 6 is a big deal. I realize you're 1 short if they go get a touchdown, but your defense has played great. And now a field goal can't tie you if you knock this through, and it's basically a chip shot. And Cignetti calls the timeout, says, no, we're going for it. Mendoza makes the play. Great call, great execution. And I guess, as I talk through it, that's really what it is that Indiana does. Great call, great execution. Great call, great execution. And they do it time and time and time and time again. They did not turn the football over in the playoff. No turnovers in the playoff. Great call, great execution. Mendoza's a good player. We'll see what he becomes in the NFL. He played like a warrior last night. You saw his arm all bloodied, lip bloodied. It was kind of reminiscent of the Elway helicopter in the Super Bowl when he's lunging over the goal line. And I think that it was great theater to watch Carson Beck go out there one more time and try to run it down. And they get into plus territory, and every touch that didn't go to Fletcher and Tony for Miami I felt was a wasted play because those 2 guys are so good. But Indiana makes the play. You got to make it. It's a bad throw by Beck, bad throw. But a great play by Indiana to seal it. And I have to reevaluate the way that I assess the entirety of college football. It probably needed to be reassessed after Indiana beat Ohio State and then beat Oregon and had won those games. But there's something to be said for getting all the way to the end and finishing the job. And Indiana finished the job. This was the worst program in the power conferences. When Kurt Cignetti climbed that podium and did the Google Me, I Win press conference, Indiana led the power conferences in losses, the most. And they went out there and won the national championship. It's amazing, and it changes the way you view recruiting. And I don't know if it'll be something. I don't know that it'll be something that happens annually. I don't think we're going to open the floodgates to just everybody knocking on championships doors. Ohio State's still going to be really good next year. Notre Dame's going to be really good next year. Georgia's going to be really good next year. Texas is going to have a lot of talent next year. This is not something that's going to happen all the time. But I truly, in my core, as of a year ago, believed it was impossible at a lot of places. And by the very definition, it is not impossible. If you get the right coach and you get the right transfers and you make the right calls and you execute them properly, you can do this. If Indiana can do it, then Texas Tech can do it, Arizona State can do it, Stanford can do it, Georgia Tech can do it, Virginia Tech can do it, Michigan State can do it, Mississippi State can do it. Ribs is here. You can do it. I didn't believe that 12 months ago, and you got to sit there and watch it. It had to be proved to me. They were clearly the best team in the country. Clearly. Not a fluke. Not a Cinderella run. 2 years of great football with a great coach, the right players, the right call, the right execution. They got it done. We're all pulling for blue blood down here in Baton Rouge and for Lane Kiffin, the high-dollar coach, to get all the five-star talent he can get and do it the way that we've always watched it be done. But Indiana didn't do it that way, and they didn't get lucky either. They were good. And last night was a historical night for me in collegiate athletics to watch that happen. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what this era will look like and how many different champions we may see. My gut tells me that the usual suspects will still hover around that thing more often than not. But I won't be stunned if in 4 years I look up and Syracuse is playing for a championship. I have to now realize that can be done if you get the right guy. Now, it's not so easy to just get the right guy. Most people won't, but Indiana did, and they made it happen. Incredible stuff by the Hoosiers down on South Beach last night. So look at the college football playoff final. So got plenty to do here. Glenn West talking Tigers in 15 minutes. We'll step aside, come back, talk some Saints with Sharif Ishak. That is next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Now, under new ownership, Fabry family has been in business in Baton Rouge 35 years. You know the Fabry family name. You know you're going to get incredible customer service when you deal with the Fabry family. You know you're going to have a quality buying experience service after the sale as well. But you didn't know that they've got now a Chevy Point, and they've got that up in St. Francisville. So if you're looking for an SUV, maybe a Tahoe, maybe a Suburban, they've got them. If you're looking for a Yukon, a Denali on the GMC side, they've got them. Check out the entire inventory online. It's at FabryChevrolet.com. Make that short drive up to St. Francisville. They would love to see you. They've been in business since October the 1st. They are up and running. Q1, you're looking for a new ride. Fabry Chevrolet GMC needs to be your stop. Check them out online, FabryChevrolet.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now call for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here, helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Back here at the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. You can check out the website, brfoodbank.org. If you'd like to volunteer, they would love to have you here at the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. In 2025, the volunteer hours, 56,800. It's about the equivalent of 27 full-time employees. If you'd like to volunteer here at the food bank, you can go to the calendar on the website. It's brfoodbank.org. Again, they would love to have you. Our Guarantee team been here all day. Started up in the morning at 7 o'clock with OTB. Got Eagle 98.1 here, 100.7 The Tiger is here as well. Talk 107.3 was here this morning. So we've had a great day here at the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. Appreciate them for having us, and appreciate you, the Baton Rouge community, for doing all you do to help keep this thing moving. Let's head out to the phone lines now. That's where we find our guy Sharif Ishak, WDSU down in New Orleans. Sharif, how we doing?
Good, man. Good. How are you?
Doing quite well. Let's talk some Hoodats. I specifically want to talk today about the secondary in this defense under Brandon Staley. It's undergone a lot of turnover. Lattimore was a stalwart. You thought you had another year of Tyrann Mathieu, and he abruptly retired right before the season. And I thought you saw some improvement from that group as the year went on. There's some youth there. What did you feel about the New Orleans Saints secondary this year?
Yeah, they did get better as the season went along. You saw some strides from Quincy Riley, Jonas Stanker. Kool-Aid was a little bit of a roller coaster. He was up and down, but I feel like he ended the season kind of strong, especially whenever the team won 4 straight, won 4 of the 5. I thought he played much better. Still some things that he needs to clean up, obviously, like most of them do, but at least you saw the potential, which is a good word for them, potential. At least with Quincy, Kool-Aid, and Jonas, and just having Justin Reed back there, you're a veteran now, so it's there. It's there, but like I told you a few weeks ago or last week, that this team still could use another player in that secondary.
How do you feel that's best addressed? I mean, I don't feel like many people think that's a possibility in round one. In the draft, I don't know how aggressive they're going to be in free agency. My guess is that Tyler Shuck's emergence maybe changes the clock on your aggressiveness in free agency. But like, where do you put secondary as far as the needs on the dry erase board for the Saints in the offseason?
Well, one of the names you got thrown on the board is Alontae Taylor. What do you do?
Yeah.
Do you sign him? It feels like it could be an expensive sign. Or do you address it at number 8? Let's just say, hypothetically, if Caleb Downs falls to 8, which would be a crazy thing to happen if he fell that far, you got to take him. You truly have to take a Caleb Downs if he falls to you at number 8, and you figure out how to use him, because that's like a game changer in your secondary. But once again, it starts in free agency. Which guys are going to be out there? How aggressive do they want to be at that position? Because Hunt, they have to be addressing some very important positions of need, starting inside of their offensive line before they can think of anything else. But they're going to have to think about what happens at slot, what happens at, if they need some depth at outside, another safety. Those discussions have to be had.
I'm curious your thoughts on their aggressiveness in free agency. They're not in quote-unquote cap hell, which they usually are. But it's not as if they've got a ton of cash to spend. So, like, What do you think about their financial situation when you marry it with the fact that they may have their quarterback and you want to maximize the window where he's on that rookie deal?
I mean, being like 20 to 25 million over the cap feels like they are like 100 million. You know, that's the funny part with them this year. They need to be semi-aggressive. They don't need to be super aggressive because I think that their cap would be much better next year. They need to. I think that the smartest play here would be careful during free agency. Get the small piece. Don't go swinging for the fences this year. You address the positions that are kind of important if you could do it responsibly, and then take care of the rest to the draft. And that's the way I would approach it. You have to be semi-aggressive, but smart and responsible doing it, because that timeline is starting to kind of open up again. You're like, oh, well, this is what Tyler can do.
Yeah.
Let's see, put some pieces around him and see what happens this year. And then following year, next thing you know, you have more money and you probably have good draft picks again. And then boom, 2027 looks like that year for you.
I mean, I pretty publicly went after the front office in the middle of the season when they were 1-7 or whatever it was. And then the quarterback looks like a hit, and some of these draft choices look like a hit, and your salary cap situation is a little bit better. Like, is there some renewed confidence in the front office because of the finish of the season, or is that something I'm just manufacturing?
No, look, they deserve the criticism. With credit, you get criticism as well. It's just it goes both ways. They hit on 6, they hit on 17, and it looks like they hit on 2025. But now they have to do a little bit more. I know it's such a it's a crapshoot, man. I mean, you're not going to hit every year, but you don't want to absolutely. It seems like they're much better in the later part of the round than they are in the first round and second round. They have to hit on those picks a lot more than not, because that's where the issue has been with this franchise, is not hitting on those high picks. So they deserve the criticism, but this year they get the credit, and because we have been bashing Mickey and Jeff and for the lack of picks and not having the right guys through the draft, but they did it. They did, and they deserve credit. Look, as much as we've been bashing, we have to give them their credit.
What's Spencer Rattler's future?
That's a funny conversation I've had with a few people last week. I mean, you think about the quarterback market this year. How many of these teams are going to need quarterbacks? One guy who's out there that could probably return you some picks. I'm not saying it's going to be super high picks. Is Derek Carr. And they still hold their price, so they can get a pick out of it. I'm not saying it's a high pick. Maybe it's a 5th round pick, 5th and a 7th. But with Spencer Rattler, you dangle a pick. So you think, all right, man, one of these teams needs a pick. So we get a 4th or 5th round pick out of him. He started, 15, 17 games, whatever games. Maybe. But I just listening to Mickey Lewis, it feels like they do not want to get rid of him. Because if something happens to Tyler, you don't have a reliable backup unless they bring in a veteran next year. But they got to play that one smart, because they can get some picks out of both of those guys that they have. It'd be smart, but I understand why they would want to keep Spencer.
Let me go back to something you said there. Is there any buzz for Derek Carr coming back to the NFL?
This would have to be the year. If he sits out another year, I can imagine that no one's going to be calling him. Or I understand the Saints still have his rights, and maybe the teams are thinking, oh, well, after next year, maybe we can call him. But 2 years removed from the league, I mean, you're not probably getting a phone call. You probably get a phone call to be a backup in case something happens to a star. But maybe the Raiders are crazy enough to call him back and call the Saints. But hey, I just don't know with Tom Brady in charge. I just don't know if Tom's going to be yeah, you bring Derek in to be Fernando's, teacher. I just don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. Maybe they do want to bring him in and help Fernando Mendoza.
Look, I mean, Phillip Rivers walked so Derek Carr could run, I guess. And if he came back after 1 year sitting out, I would just suggest that he quit because he didn't want to play for the Saints anymore. That's what I would, if that happened. I feel like we're dragging Derek Carr for no reason here, but that's not a name I expected to cover over the course of this 12-minute interview. So that's an interesting thought. What's next for New Orleans as far as the calendar goes, and what are you looking for pre-draft?
So let's see, some of the Saints assistants, they're at the Senior Bowl. They're coaching one of the teams, so that's a big thing for them coming up next week. once again, they're they do their due diligence when it comes to the Senior Bowl. They like to take guys from the Senior Bowl. I would say that a lot of eyes will be on the players there in Mobile. That would be number one. Then back to the drawing board. Do they make any kind of small adjustments to their coaching staff over the next few weeks? Free agency, of course, around the corner. Start looking at who's there, and then they got to start thinking about the draft. I mean, it all just lines up, man. It feels like it never ends. It continues to go and go and go. And, of course, between all that, some of the people who were here during the Drew Brees era have to be in San Francisco in a couple weeks for him to be elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So they're dealing with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the NFL calendar never quite cools off. We'll certainly be at the Senior Bowl next week, Clever Morning Show there, and the Saints will be heavily involved as they were last year, and they got some really quality players out of that Senior Bowl class last year, so hopefully that's the same thing that will happen coming up this year in the draft. Sharif, we appreciate some time. We'll talk next week.
All right, man. See you next week.
Sharif Ishak, WDSU down in New Orleans, covering the black and gold. We are here at the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. Guaranteed day of service here. We've had a great day, started in the morning, and we'll go through 6 o'clock here on ESPN Baton Rouge. Matt will be in this chair from 3 to 6 for AFR. So they've been gracious hosts, and we appreciate getting an opportunity to come on in and help out. It's an incredible organization here that services 11 parishes around the Greater Baton Rouge area, and we're just thankful to be a small part of it on this day. You can be a part of it if you'd like to volunteer some time. Check out brfoodbank.org and check out their calendar. Step aside, we'll come back, talk some Tigers with Glenn West next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Marucci. Get on by and do a campus tour over at Marucci. Why would I do a campus tour over at Marucci? Well, it's awesome. Marucci is the official bat of Major League Baseball. They churn out 1,200 bats every single day. And they send those to some of the best players in the world that use them on the biggest stage. And it all started right here in Baton Rouge in a backyard shed 22 years ago. If you want to go by and see how they're making the best bats in baseball, you want to take your youth baseball team, your youth softball team by, you want to take a class on a field trip, you can do that and take a campus tour over at Marucci. Check out the website, maruccisports.com. You go to the campus tour tab. You can research, look at it, get your pricing, get your ticketing, and set it all up online at maruccisports.com. Marucci, it's the official bat of Major League Baseball. Schedule your tour, Marucci at maruccisports.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home, with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
This new year, Hood Dental wants you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays, a $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care, Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And for January only, save 15% up to $150 on restorative treatment. Schedule today at hooddentalcare.com.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they...
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
D1 Baseball's All-American teams for the preseason are out. Let you know how LSU is represented in about 15 minutes to close out hour number one here. We're at the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. Let's talk some Tigers. Glenn West, senior writer, Go 24/7 with us on Tuesdays. He joins us now on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Glenn, how you doing?
Hey, Hunt. Doing well. How are you?
Doing quite well. Let's talk some football. The transfer portal class is just about complete. There are a couple big fish that are out there that probably need to be sewed up today because this is the last day to register for classes at LSU. So first I'll start there with Prince Will Umanmielen as well as Jordan Seaton. How do you feel LSU stands there, and what would those two guys mean to this portal class?
Yeah, I think just to maybe start off where LSU stands, I mean, I think they're in a really strong position for both. I think it's just going to be a matter of, dotting the I's and crossing the T's and getting it over the finish line. But, I think in Seaton's case in particular, him not taking that trip yesterday to Oregon was really important for LSU to have him on campus for most of the day yesterday. And, our guys over at CBS Sports, Matt Zenitz, just reported a few minutes ago that that visit to Oregon has been canceled. So that's a good sign. He's still listening to other teams, but I think LSU wants to get this over the finish line as soon as possible with him. And same goes with Prince Will as well. I think he's somebody that, is going to be a highly coveted player if he's able to get across into that transfer portal. We still haven't heard word yet if he's going in officially or not, but I think all expectations are that does happen, and that LSU is going to be a major player for him as well. So you talk about adding one of the best offensive linemen in the portal, and then certainly one of the best defensive linemen in the portal. You get that left tackle spot solidified. You get that potential edge rusher spot solidified. That checks off a lot of the remaining concerns I think you have on this team right now, and I think raises the level of expectations and ceiling of this team immensely.
I want to talk expectations. I mean, if they get those two, that would be 41 additions in this portal class. Yeah. How much different do you feel about the 2026 team today than you did on January 1st before the portal opened?
Oh, I mean, so much different. I mean, there's just been so much turnover with this roster. And, I think as you kind of see the first few days play out and you see some of the guys that leave, and it really was kind of a slower start for LSU, I think, in the transfer portal. The first few days they were picking up some interesting pieces at running back, interesting pieces at wide receiver, but they didn't really make a whole ton of big splashes the first few days. And then it just kind of came like a roller coaster. I mean, it just came one after another of just really big-time players out of the portal that they've been able to hit at really important spots of need. Obviously, the quarterbacks and getting the three on board last week was huge. I think they've done a good job of building out some of the competitive pieces that they're going to need on the offensive line. But if you bring in a guy like Seaton, I mean, that just kind of brings the whole room together, gives you probably your most two important positions on that line settled between him at left tackle and Braylon Moore at center. So you still have some competition there among 15 other guys to go get free spots. And so that's a really good position to be in if you're LSU, if you're able to get that over the finish line. But I feel like this roster is in a much, much better place overall. I think when you weigh what LSU lost in the portal versus what they've returned or gotten out of the portal and returned to the roster, this is going to be a very competitive team next year. I think this is the staff that if you look at, okay, how many teams can have like this 1 year rebuild and really compete at a very, very high level? Lane Kiffin and this offensive staff that he's brought in have proven that they can do that. in very short order. And so I would expect it to be no different here at LSU.
It gets me thinking about Ole Miss and how much they brought in for 2024 and how the expectation on that team, and then they fell short and everybody left, and then they were better this year. I guess that's just a credit to Kiffin, no?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, look, I think, still, I mean, that Ole Miss team finished, 9-3, if I'm remembering correctly. So, I mean, they were probably right on that cusp of being a playoff team that year anyway. And then so you go out and you retool a lot of that roster the very next season. I think it just speaks honestly to the evaluations that these guys, these guys trust themselves to do. And, everything that I've heard about Billy Glasscock and what they've been doing in the front office has been really, really impressive. And, I'm super stoked. I can't wait to get to spring and see what these guys look like on the field for the first time together. This is going to be a really important offseason for LSU and for Lane Kiffin, but I feel like they have on paper a lot of the right pieces in place. And if you're able to get, guys like Seton and Prince Will to this program as well, that's just going to put this thing, I think, and raise it to another level.
Do you think that this is how they're going to operate, to go this hard in the transfer portal every year? Do you think the plan is going to be to have more than the 15, 16 high school kids they're going to sign in this class and not to have this much turnover?
Yeah, I don't know that you want to get up into the 40 range every year. Like even at Ole Miss, I mean, they would get into the high 20s and early 30s. But look, I think that this is going to be the play going forward. I think Lane Kiffin has found a strategy that works for him, that works for his program, and they're going to bring in probably pretty consistently 20, 25, maybe even 30 guys. And so I think what he has now at LSU, though, and why this is such an attractive job for him, is that he's going to have the recruiting base in Louisiana to fill out that portal class with a lot of really talented in-state players that they just continue to pump out in Louisiana. So you've seen it here over the last week or so. The coaches hitting the road to a lot of these Louisiana schools. Joe Cox popping up at Ruston, Kevin Smith popping up over a bunch of different places in Louisiana, George McDonald driving down to New Orleans and visiting all the New Orleans schools. Like, I think that they're starting to build those relationships up because they understand how important that angle to this job and to this program is going to be.
When you look at the 2026 roster, is there a spot that concerns you more than the others?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still, until we get confirmation that Seton and, Prince Will are coming to this program, I think those are probably the two spots that I look at right now and say, maybe there's some work to be done there, and it's just a little bit more of unknown. But I think if you're able to bring those two guys in, it really helps solidifies you in the trenches and gives you some really, really interesting pieces to work with on both sides of the ball. So I would say that, the line of scrimmage, the trenches is probably the one area where, I think if you're looking at this team as currently constructed, you'd have a little bit more questions in going into this offseason. But if they're able to get those two over the finish line, I think your tune dramatically changes even on those positions.
What do you think about quarterback as far as the health of Sam Leavitt goes, and then what Longstreet would be ready to do if they needed something from him?
Yeah, I think that the Leavitt case is going to be really, really interesting here over the next several months. I mean, these are just really tricky injuries, and everything we've heard is that it's going to probably cost him all of the spring, and it could go into the summer a little bit too. And so, Longstreet and Landon Clark are going to have to be ready to handle a lot of those first-team duties in the spring. And I think that's just a really good opportunity for those two young players to really get in this system, work with a lot of the receivers in this program already. And look, I think that they have visions here of these guys being long-term answers. And I know that you can't look past a year anymore when you look at just kind of how much turnover there is with rosters. But if Longstreet and Clark are able to show this staff something that, without Leavitt in the picture, it's going to be really interesting to see how that factors into the fall as well. Like, I think that Sam Leavitt's going to be your guy. He's going to be the guy that you give the first opportunities to in the fall. But the first impression is always the one that I think sticks with coaches and sticks with a lot of people. And those guys are going to have that opportunity here in the spring to get those first snaps with this offense. And I'm excited to see what that looks like.
Glenn West, senior writer for Go 24/7, is our guest talking LSU football. We'll transition over to basketball. Tigers on the hardwood in the O-Dome tonight. I'm not going to call it Exact Tech, whatever it is. It's the O-Dome to me. That's where they'll be tonight. They'll play in Fayetteville coming up on Saturday. Any chance LSU can get one of these two?
It's going to have to be an upset. I mean, like I think that the good news here, if you can call it that, is that Deon Thomas has been upgraded to questionable for tonight. So he's always been listed as doubtful or out for the last couple of weeks. So if there is a chance that he can go out there and give LSU something, I think that really helps your chances tonight. But look, I think tonight's going to come down to Florida is one of the is on a real hot streak here recently offensively, but they're also one of the worst shooting three-point teams, certainly in the SEC, but one of them in the country as well. If you're able to get them off the three-point line, force them to beat you inside, which they're very capable of doing. I think that might be a strategy for LSU to try to attack here, is to just kind of make this a messy game. This is also a Florida team that turns the ball over quite a bit as well. LSU did a nice job of that in the Missouri game last Saturday of converting some of those turnovers into opportunities on the other end. So if you can make this a sloppy game and make it, kind of an ugly one for Florida, it keeps you in that game a little bit longer maybe. But the way that Florida's playing right now, I think it's going to be a real uphill climb for the Tigers to get this one tonight.
This was always going to be the toughest week on the schedule, two of the toughest places to play against really good teams. So we'll see what the Tigers can do. They'll play tonight at 6 o'clock from Gainesville. Glenn, we appreciate the time.
All right. Thanks, Son.
He's Glenn West, senior writer over at Go 24/7. Remind you about the Highland Insurance Group. You can find them online, highlandig.com, highlandig.com. Captives, something that Jonathan Carbo and I have talked about at length a couple different times. It's something that they really pride themselves on at the Highland Insurance Group. If you're a sizable business and you pay a sizable amount in insurance premiums and you've got good loss history and good risk management, you might be a fit for a captive and can be a game changer for the bottom line of your business. If your broker has not suggested that to you, perhaps your broker doesn't have the capability or the knowledge base to get that done, and that's not everyone can. But the Howard Insurance Group is an independent broker. They deal with captives every single day. So if you're looking for another option for insurance, you're looking for something that maybe can help your bottom line, a captive could be a fit for you. It's a completely different way to handle your insurance program. So contact my guy Jonathan Carbo and the team at the Highland Insurance Group. Find them online at highlandig.com, highlandig.com. We are here at the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. Guarantee turned 100 yesterday. A big celebration. We'll have another one coming up this weekend. But as part of that, we're giving back to the community, and we're here. Our whole team has been here throughout the day, starting in the morning, and is here this afternoon, just stocking those full of meals for people in this 11 parish area that the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank does serve. So we appreciate them for having us here. It's a great honor, and it's been a great day for us here at the Greater Baton Rouge Area Food Bank. We'll come back. D1 baseball, preseason All-American teams. Is LSU represented? Who's on? Who's not? I got some thoughts on it. We'll close out the hour with that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Fabry Chevrolet GMC. The entire inventory, all of it, online at fabrychevrolet.com. So if you want to start that car buying experience in a low-pressure spot for you at your fingertips, you can do that at fabrychevrolet.com. You can also go see them at St. Francisville. They're going to treat you wonderfully. That's the kind of customer service you get with the Fabry family. You know the Fabrys. They've been in business in Baton Rouge for more than 3 decades, 3 different locations, 5 different brands. So proud to have added Chevrolet GMC up there on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Change of ownership as of October 1st. Go see them for that Chevy Tahoe. Go see them for that Chevy Suburban, the Silverado. If you're looking for a truck, they've got them. Looking for GMC Sierras, GMC Yukons, Denali's. Looking for an SUV, you can do that as well with my friends at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Make that short drive to St. Francisville or check them out online, fabrychevrolet.com, fabrychevrolet.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
This new year, Hood Dental wants you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. a $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care, Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And for January only, save 15% up to $150 on restorative treatment. Schedule today at hooddentalcare.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Wrapping up hour number 1 here, Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We're at the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. You can check out their website, brfoodbank.org, if you would like to volunteer. They had an amazing turnout last year of volunteers. You want to check the schedule, you can do that at their website, brfoodbank.org. Last night, had the privilege of heading down to Metairie. Spoke with the St. Anne's Men's Club down there. Great turnout, and they want to hear about some baseball. I said, I'll talk some baseball with you. And they had the football game on, which was a nice bonus as well. It kind of got me in the mood to start talking a little bit about baseball. I'm going to go watch the guys scrimmage tomorrow after my show. They're scrimmaging at 3:30 at the box tomorrow, so I'm going to sneak over there after my show's over and catch a few innings there. But D1 Baseball put out their preseason All-American teams. And LSU is represented a couple of times. Derek Curiel, a first-team All-American in the preseason by D1 Baseball, of course, out in the outfield. He had a sensational freshman campaign and looking to build on that in what will very likely be his last college season as he's a drought-eligible sophomore, but hit .345 last year for LSU. Played a really good defensive left field as well. Showed a little bit of power, could grow into a little bit more of that. Y'all know Derek Curiel at this point, but he first-team All-American. And the only other representative for LSU on the 3 preseason All-American teams is Kason Evans as a second or third team? Second-team All-American by D1 Baseball. And I'll be honest, I don't have a huge problem with that. I think if I were to point to a player on LSU's team that I thought had a real chance to be an All-American that is not included here, it would probably be Jake Brown. But I could also make a case for Stephen Milam, but that would be betting on potential and what we saw at the end of the season. Y'all all remember Stephen Milam going nuts in the postseason. He was sensational. He crushed the ball against West Virginia, hit an opposite field grand slam, was sensational there. Then in Omaha, he hit the ball as hard as anybody in the tournament up there at Omaha. But he did not have a good season. Stephen Milam played every SEC game for LSU, all 30 of them. He hit 211 in league play. 211. And he hit 6 home runs, which was tied for second on the team. Jones had 7, and then he tied Jake Brown had 6, and Luis Hernandez had 6. So he hit for a little bit of power, and he was sensational defensively, obviously. But he did not have a great season. So to try to put Stephen Milam on one of these teams over Rock Chalowski, who's going to be the preseason player of the year by just about everybody, and he's the shortstop. He's first team on this. You got Justin LeBron, who is a precocious talent. Now, he did not have a great season last year. It was better than Milam's, but it wasn't to the level. People were talking about Justin LeBron as being potentially the first pick in this next draft. He didn't play to that level. He hit 316 last year, which is not anything to it's just not a sensational season. But he had a better year than Milam. And then Tyler Bell from Kentucky is the third team. He hit 296 last year, did hit for a little bit of power, and is a good player, very, very good defender as well. But Milam's got a chance to be an All-American, but he's going to have to do what he did the last 3 weeks of LSU's baseball season for the duration of LSU's baseball season. And I had an interesting conversation with somebody at LSU's staff in the offseason back in December. And talked about Milam, talked about why he just seemed to not have it offensively for a lot of the season. And the thought was that something clicked for Milam in the SEC tournament. In the SEC tournament, LSU was struggling against Ole Miss. And they pinch hit for Milam. Jay Johnson pinch hit for Stephen Milam. And the thought was that struck a chord. And, whether or not it did, I don't know. And you would say, well, why'd you slump through a whole season and then you got ticked off, so then you kicked it into high gear? Who knows how much truth there is to that. But it certainly is the belief held there. And they feel like Stephen Milam's not going to hit anywhere near 211 in league play this year. He's way too talented a hitter for that. If you ask me to project what I think Stephen Milam's going to do offensively this year, I would tell you he's probably going to hit 320 with 12 homers. I think he's going to have a great season for LSU. And this time last year, I was suggesting to you that I thought Stephen Milam may struggle at shortstop because I was scarred from his first fall in the fall of, I guess that's 2024. No, yeah, fall of 2024. He was terrible defensively at second base. Every time I went out to the box, he was kicking one around. He was awful. And I was like, he was fine at second base in the season, but you're going to shift that guy over to shortstop? Well, he was the best defensive shortstop in the league. I guess so. I whiffed on that one. I don't get them all right. Trust me. I know that well. But I think that you've got a chance with Jake Brown and certainly Stephen Milam to have All-Americans, just not listed on this team. If I was looking to LSU on the pitching side of things for another guy that I thought could be an All-American, the potential is there for Schmidt. For him to go from what he was last year, which in 2 SEC innings, he got 6 outs in league play. He issued 11 walks. 6 outs, 11 walks in SEC play. To go from that to an All-American is quite a huge jump. But talent-wise, he certainly got it. If I was betting on somebody a little safer, I might go Cooper Moore. I don't think he's going to be an All-American. I think Cooper Moore is a very, very high-floor third pitcher for you that can go out on Sundays and throw strikes and get outs. He was Kansas' ace last year. He had a good go of it in Big 12 play. But I feel like there's a high probability Cooper Moore is in LSU's rotation on opening weekend. And if you're in LSU's rotation and you get a lot of wins, especially if he's pitching on Sundays and he's better than most teams' Sunday guys, and LSU's offense carries him on some Sundays, and he all of a sudden ends the season and he's 7-1 or something, that could tilt things in his favor to be an All-American. I don't say Cooper Moore based on stuff. I say Cooper Moore based on high floor position on the staff, which could be the second starter or the third starter, and the team he plays for. Plus, you gotta like LSU's track record developing pitchers as transfers. I mean, what they did with Anthony Ianson last year was sensational. Nate Yeske deserves a ton of credit for what you saw from him. I thought Zach Cowan was brilliant last year for the majority of the season. Just had a couple of bad outings. I didn't think the outing at Texas A&M was that bad. He was bad against South Carolina. I'll definitely put that out there. But he was pretty good for most of the season and was brilliant when they needed him in Omaha against Arkansas in that spot start. So maybe that's a guy you would point to as well. But for the 3-team preseason All-American list, LSU with only 2 players on it, which feels rare this time. But this might not be the team with the greatest star power at this point in the calendar. But what it could be is a team that's really, really deep and really, really talented. And it would not surprise me at all if D1 baseball comes out with 3 All-American teams in the postseason, that LSU has more than 2 guys listed. I would feel pretty comfortable making that assertion at this point. But I'm super pumped to get out there tomorrow and just watch a little bit of baseball. I'll have a write-up probably Thursday morning on LouisianaSports.net on some baseball. I know that y'all are itching for that, and that quite likely LSU is going to get dusted tonight in basketball, and you probably won't want to hear a ton about that. So instead, I'll write some more about baseball, and I'll talk some more about baseball, because I know that's what y'all want to do. I was speaking, as I mentioned, to that St. Anne's Men Club last night. Not a single basketball question came up in the 40 minutes I was doing Q&A. So that's kind of the situation that we're in with LSU athletics right now. Baseball's coming quick. We're here at the Baton Rouge Food Bank. Appreciate them for having us. It's been a great day so far, and we'll be here through 6 o'clock when Matt takes over with AFR. We'll pause for national headlines right now, and we'll come back on the other side and talk some more.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Love telling you about First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust. Look, started up in 1910. That was 116 years ago. Think they know what they're doing? I think they got a pretty good idea of what they're doing at First American Bank and Trust. If you're looking for that commercial loan, if you're looking for that personal loan for your home, trust the folks at First American Bank and Trust, because you're talking to people who are part of your community. Every decision that is made by First American Bank and Trust is made in Southeast Louisiana. There's no call center up in Seattle. You're not calling Chicago or Atlanta. You're calling someone in Southeast Louisiana at one of their 25 locations. Maybe Tangipahoa, St. Tammany up on the I-12 corridor. Maybe Lafourche or Terrebonne over in Hammond, Dutchtown, Jones Creek. They're here in your community at First American Bank and Trust. Stop on in and see them. I want to wish everybody a happy new year. Do your business with First American Bank and Trust.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online, or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Another NFL head coaching vacancy has been filled. The Titans hiring 49ers defensive coordinator and former Jets coach Robert Saleh as their new coach and giving him a 5-year contract. His first order of business, find an offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach that can help Cam Ward develop into Tennessee's franchise quarterback. Unsportsmanlike co-host Chris Canty.
With this specific job with the Tennessee Titans, I don't like the fit. I just don't. Because I've seen Rob Saleh try to put the infrastructure in place to develop a young quarterback, and it didn't work out. I don't know that Tennessee was at a point in their program building where they could afford to take this type of risk.
The trespassing charge against Vikings receiver Jordan Addison, stemming from a January 12th visit to a casino in Florida, has been dropped by a Florida state attorney. With the charge dropped, it's unlikely Addison faces any discipline from the NFL. NBA Warriors wing Jimmy Butler will miss the rest of the season with a torn ACL. Golden State now reassesses where it stands with the February 5th trade deadline approaching. Indiana backup quarterback Alberto Mendoza entered the transfer portal. He's got 3 more years of eligibility remaining.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ Chris Canty. Coming on Wednesday, I'll tell you what's next for the playoff teams that have already been eliminated. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Not in the Raising Cane studio today. We are here at the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. Guarantee having a day of service here. Started up at this morning, 7 o'clock. OTB was here bright and early, so was Brian Haldane over on Talk 107.3. I am currently sitting about 15 feet away from Michelle Southern over on Eagle 98.1. And there's Brittany Rose, a couple of chairs down over on 100.7. The Tiger, we're thrilled to be here. It's been an awesome day here, and this is an awesome organization here. I've talked at length over the first hour about the opportunity to volunteer, and they've had incredible volunteer support from the Baton Rouge community. Last year, almost 57,000 hours of service were donated here at the Baton Rouge Food Bank. They also would love it if you could support monetarily. They've got some purchasing power here because of the relationships that they've built with retailers and vendors, and so they can buy in bulk, they can buy in wholesale, and just $1 can provide up to 3 meals. So if you're so inclined to give monetarily, they certainly appreciate it here at the Baton Rouge Food Bank. Check out their website, brfoodbank.org. That's brfoodbank.org. I'll be honest with you, just going to lay it out there. When I put the show together this morning, my assumption was we were going to have some information about Prince Willie Munmielen and about Jordan Seaton. It is 2:03 on this Tuesday, and we don't have that. So we've got expert predictions. Shay Dixon over at On 3, the Bengal Tiger, has predicted that Seaton will be an LSU Tiger. We've heard from Matt Zenitz of CBS, who said that Seaton will not make the trip to Oregon, that LSU has got momentum, that he is listening to Miami. But there is nothing that has been announced officially. We know one fact in this case. If you are going to go to school at LSU in this spring semester, you have to enroll today. So that feels like a deadline, and we're getting close to the close of business. I feel like it's very likely that sitting in this very chair, talking into this very headset, at some point between 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock, Matt Moscona will have official news on this. My assumption, call it an understanding, if you will, is that LSU is going to get both these players. I think they're going to get Prince William Allen. I think they're going to get Jordan Seaton. And that would bring LSU's transfer portal haul to 41 players. 41. Remarkable. And it will have transformed my personal feeling about the 2026 football team in the course of 2 weeks. And you knew that was going to happen to some extent. You knew that LSU was going to have to be aggressive in the portal. They were going to lose some players. They were going to gain some players. They were going to probably go to Ole Miss and get some of those guys. And, you weren't sure how it was going to shake out when things cranked up officially on January 2nd. But you knew that it was going to be transformative. To what degree? I'm shocked. I don't know why, because Lane Kiffin has done this at Ole Miss. But I think it was the buildup. Because I'm speaking for me personally, not necessarily right or wrong thing, it's just how I felt. When I looked at this roster, the 2025 LSU roster, as they got on the bus to go to Clemson, I'm looking around at the defense, and I'm looking at Jack Pyburn and Patrick Payton and Jamari Butler, and I'm looking at Jacobian Guillory and Bernard Gooden and Whit Weeks and West Weeks and Mansour Lane and A.J. Halsey. This is the majority of your defense I felt was in there last year. Now, Whit came back, but a lot of those guys were seniors and had to move on. You were going to lose 9 starters or so off your defense. I'm looking at wide receiver. Barryon Brown, gone. Chris Hilton, gone. Aaron Anderson, gone. Xavion Thomas, gone. These guys are out of here. Nick Anderson was in a potential draft year. I look at your situation at quarterback. You've got a 5th-year senior and nobody really behind him that you feel like is going to carry that torch. It just felt like everything was pointed to 2025. And when they lost to Ole Miss and then they lost to Vanderbilt and you knew the margin for error was gone and you didn't feel like they were going to go on a run, my personal feeling looking at this was they're going to take a step back in 2026. That's how I felt about it. I just didn't feel, with that kind of investment and that many one-year players coming in, I just did not feel that LSU was going to be able to rapidly rebound in 2026. That's how I felt. I feel now, staring at this roster, that they got a chance to make the playoff. And I don't like hyperbole. I think it lessens the value of your words. I'm stunned at the amount of talent and depth they have been able to pull in. If you get Sam Leavitt, number 1 player in the portal according to 24/7. That's the best quarterback there is. You go get the number 1 offensive lineman in the portal in Jordan Seaton. You go get 9 wide receivers. Kansas State's leader. Young talent from Ole Miss. You go to the offensive line, which was broken. You pull starter caliber players from the power conferences and plug them in. Not 1, 4. Edge rusher, Uman Mielit, led Ole Miss in sacks. Jordan Ross, former 5-star recruit. I was watching Jordan Ross highlights earlier today. You know the guy blocked a punt in his first college game? An edge rusher. Got back there and blocked a punt, picked it up and ran in for a touchdown. He's a pretty talented dude. 41 players they've added. I went and ran the numbers just to put it in front of me on paper. 3 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 9 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, one of them kind of an H-back, 9 offensive linemen. That's 27 players on the offensive side of the ball. 27. And look on the defense. 6 defensive linemen. Only needed 1 linebacker because you literally did not lose a single linebacker that had eligibility left. So you get 1 linebacker, 3 safeties, a corner, and 3 specialists. And you're talking about a high level. It's one of those deals that I try to be open and honest about it. I can break down LSU's baseball roster. I can tell you whether or not I agreed with the decision to go for 2 or kick the extra point. There are things that happen on the field I'm very comfortable analyzing and discussing, bringing an opinion forward. There are things in this realm that I just don't have hard facts on. So it's hard to analyze. Can LSU do this every year? Can they go get the number 1 transfer portal class every year? Or is this a one-time deal because you got this amount of money pledged this spot and this amount of money allocated here, and it was just kind of a, hey, we're here, this is a new staff, we're ready to be aggressive, here we go? Are the people that cut these checks willing to do it again next year? Will they be willing to do it in 2031? Like, I don't know the answer to these questions. The long term, I don't know. But I can tell you in the short term, when I analyze this roster and I look at what LSU's done in the transfer portal, I think LSU's got a real chance to compete. Now, the schedule is brutal, and this is not a schedule discussion. This is a roster composition discussion. We'll talk about schedules in July, not today. But you look at the talent and the depth that they brought in over the course of these 3 weeks. I think it's completely outrageous to expect college coaches to have to do that, to have to try to retain their entire roster of 100 people, and then to go entertain 85 more in the transfer portal and sign half of them. I think it's a ridiculous way to run a sport. I do. But this group is good at it. And what they've done over the course of 2.5 weeks is to me stunning. It is stunning. And I believe they will get Seifert. I believe they will get Uman Mielen. I believe that gives you a strong offensive line. I believe that gives you proven edge rushers. I think you've got playmakers. I think you've got veterans. I don't see a significant weakness on this team. Last year at this time, I could look at the offensive line and go, I'm not sure about that. You're losing 4 guys. None of these guys have ever played. We'll see. I felt that all the way through the offseason. I can't look at this roster right now and find something that really concerns me. That can be proven wrong. And look, LSU was nowhere near competitive enough this past year. But when I think about what that offense is very likely to do with that brain trust calling plays and that defense taking the steps that it has under Blake Baker and the talent that they've got, it feels like a damn good team to me. And I just don't know that in November of this year, I was prepared to tell you that I thought it was likely that LSU was going to have a damn good team. I think they do now. Wild 2.5 weeks, 41 players in the boat if they can get these last 2. And I suggest over the course of the next 3 hours, over the course of the next 5 hours, that LSU will land those 2 last big fish. And you will have what looks to be the roster that you're heading into spring football with. But we'll see. If we find anything out officially, we'll certainly let you know over the course of the next 45 minutes while we are here. LSU is playing basketball tonight in Gainesville against the defending national champions. I've got a little bit of intel on Deion Thomas and whether or not he could be available. We'll talk about that when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Love telling you about Auctioneer's Eat Fit Alcohol Free for 40 Challenge. Registration is wide open. Jump on in. If you want a fresh start this spring, the Alcohol Free for 40 Challenge is back. It's a 40-day reset just to sleep better, boost energy, feel your best. They're not telling you to give anything up forever here, okay? Just seeing how your body responds when you take a break, let it recharge. People who have done alcohol-free for 40 have reported clearer skin, better focus, a brighter mood, better sleep, and often that happens within the first couple of weeks. So check out registration. It's now open at alcoholfreefor40.com. You can join officially, or you can do the challenge from home. It's up to you, but it's your chance to start off 2026 the right way. They're online at alcoholfreefor40.com. That's the number 40, alcoholfreefor40.com.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose. Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
My father, J.B. Falgout, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgout.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Here at the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, guaranteed day of service. It's been a great day here at the Food Bank. They do just an incredible job here. It's an amazing operation, a huge, expansive operation here in Baton Rouge. We appreciate them for letting us come on in and do our shows here. Eagle 98.1 set up right next to me, 100.7 The Tiger as well. Brian Haldane did our morning show on Talk 107.3 from here a little bit earlier today as well. Matt will be here until 6 o'clock on AFR. So awesome day for Guarantee here at the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. You can sign up to volunteer at brfoodbank.org. LSU and Florida tonight from the O-Dome down in Gainesville. Defending national champs, the Florida Gators, who are really good. Their record is 13-5, which doesn't catch a lot of eyes. But if you look at who they've lost to, they lost to Arizona in the season opener. Wildcats are as good as anybody in college basketball this year. They lost to TCU, which kind of caught my eye in San Diego. And they lost a couple more. They lost to Duke in Rupp. That would be where Kentucky plays. In Cameron at the ACC-SEC Challenge, lost that game by a point. Then they played against UConn up in Madison Square Garden and lost that game by 4. So you're losing games to Arizona, Duke, UConn. It's a little different dynamic than a lot of teams in the Southeastern Conference with their schedule. But this is a really good Florida team that boasts, I believe, the best front court in all of college basketball. You got 3 guys back from a championship team. You got Ruben Chinyelu, who's just an enforcer down there on the block. Alex Condon, who is a really good player around the rim. Then you got Thomas Hall, who can shoot the 3 at 6'9", 6'10". They're just really good in the front court. Those 3 guys are all forwards, centers for this team. That's their top 3 leading scorers and their top 3 leading rebounders. So it'll be very important for LSU to go down there and play well in the front court. Mike Nwoku, Markel Sutton, as well as Robert Miller. Now, on the backcourt side of things, Florida is not as good, and LSU may get a little bit of help tonight. DJ Thomas did go through some practice work today in shoot-around. He is questionable. I'm told there's a possibility DJ Thomas can give some minutes tonight for LSU. I don't know how much. I don't even know for sure that he will. But it sounds like he is potentially available tonight for LSU. And it's a rough spot maybe to get him back because I just don't think LSU is going to go to Florida and win. I don't think LSU is going to go to Arkansas and win. Those are 2 of the most talented teams in the SEC and 2 of the most difficult places to play in the Southeastern Conference. And so I don't have a ton of confidence that LSU is going to go either place and win. But you got to get DJ Thomas back for sure. You kept your season alive on life support with a win back on Saturday against Missouri. This was always going to be the most difficult spot on the schedule for LSU, the week where you got to go to Gainesville and then go to Fayetteville. Going to be brutal. That's what you got to do. Just part of the deal. You don't have to cry about it like Texas women's basketball coach, who apparently doesn't like playing difficult games back to back. Go figure. But LSU will in this instance, and you're going to have to outplay them at the guards. You got to try to hold your own around the basket, but with Hall and Condon and Chenyulu, you probably won't. You got to try to hold your own, but you got to win in the backcourt. LSU does. Boogie Fland, who's a transfer over from Arkansas, he runs the point a lot for this team. He shoots 21% from three. I mean, they're a bad three-point shooting team at this point. And so that's not what their game is. They're going to throw it down inside, and LSU's got to hold your own. You got to stay out of foul trouble. You got to hold your own. The other piece to this puzzle is the rebounding piece, and Florida will flat wear you out on the glass, as you would expect with what I call the best front court in college basketball. You're talking about a team that is number 2 in the country in offensive rebounding percentage. They rebound 43% of their misses. It's an absurd number. That crazy Kentucky team that should have gone undefeated rebounded 50% of their misses. I remember doing that, which is just absurd to think about. But this Florida team gets 43% of their misses, and on the defensive end, they do a great job. They're 4th in the country in defensive rebounding percentage. So they limit their opponents to one shot, and they often get more than one. And that's a good way to make a living. That's a good way to win basketball games, and Florida can absolutely do it. So this is not a great matchup for LSU. To win, if you're asking me what LSU needs to win this game, you're going to have to get the performances that you've gotten in the last couple of games from your ancillary pieces. Max McKinnon is going to shoot 17 or 18 times tonight. He's going to make a couple of threes. He's going to score 18 or 22 points. You've now kind of penciled McKinnon in for that. He's good for that. The guys with the variance, Markel Sutton. Like, do you get the guy that was assertive and really good in Saturday and scored 26 points against Missouri? Or do you get the guy that is cratered like he did early in SEC play and goes 1 for 6 with 4 fouls and doesn't give you anything? You're going to have to get a great night from him. No question about it. You're going to have to get a great night from Rashad King running the point in whatever capacity he needs to. If DJ Thomas can give you 14 minutes, great. If he can give you 8, okay. Rashad King is probably going to start the game tonight, and he's got to win on the perimeter against a Florida backcourt that's not as good as their front court. And you got to get him knocking down a couple of threes. You can't have turnovers. You've gotten some good efforts from Rashad King. You've also had some games where he wasn't really a factor. Robert Miller, you're going to have to grow up tonight. You're going to be playing future NBA guys. You fancy yourself a future NBA guy? You need to go out there and play. LSU's a 15.5-point underdog tonight. I think LSU is going to get dusted in this game because I think Florida is that good, and I think that place is that difficult to play. It's just a bad spot on the schedule. It's why you can't lose to South Carolina at home. It's why you can't blow a lead against Kentucky with 1.7 seconds left, because there are games on this schedule I don't expect LSU to compete in, and this is one of them. Like, I wouldn't even feel good taking LSU to cover the 15.5 tonight, if we're being honest. Now, that's without really knowing what DJ Thomas is available for, but it's just tough. And you look at Florida's schedule and the way that they're playing right now, they had one hiccup, but they went to Nashville and beat Vanderbilt. I think you all know how good Vanderbilt is. They beat Oklahoma in Norman by 17. And Tennessee went to the O-Dome, where LSU will play tonight. Tennessee, good team. Tennessee lost by 24 in the O-Dome. So it is what it is. I watched the game tonight, no stress, because this is just not one you're getting. There are 18 of them. You got to find a way to win 8 of them. And this is not one of the ones you're going to win. So this is one of the 10 you're going to lose. And so it's a drag of a way to do a segment. It's a drag of a way to analyze a game. But I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke for no reason. Florida is a championship-level team, and LSU is not. So we'll see what the Tigers can do tonight. 15.5-point dogs. I couldn't even take LSU to cover. To do it, they're going to have to win in the backcourt, and they're going to have to find a way to hold their own against a three-man front court that is a terror on just about everybody that they play. So LSU and Florida tonight at 6 o'clock. Pregame at 5:30. You can find that on Eagle 98.1. Be Chris Blair and John Brady on the call from the O-Dome down in Gainesville. I'll have a report on LouisianaSports.net after it's over. I've got a preview up on the site right now if you want to go check that out for free. We're going to transition things back to the football side of things when Your Baton Rouge Food Bank. It's a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Look, safety's a big issue in the bathroom, especially as folks age. If there's somebody in your life that is aging, you think maybe could use mitigating some of that risk. You can't take the risk away, but you can mitigate against it. Put some non-slip floors in. Put a walk-in tub in for convenience, comfort, safety. Put a shower with benches in, maybe guardrails in a slippery area. These are things that maybe you don't think about every day, but David Vaughn and his team, they do things like this every single day. You can call David. Financing is available, 0% up to 18 months if you qualify. Get that free consultation. That won't cost you a penny. You can check it out at OneBathAndClosets.com. David Vaughn and One Bath and Closets. They're online at OneBathAndClosets.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google. Based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Lifetime Roofing. You can find them online at lifetimeroofingla.com. I know most of the time when you think about getting a new roof, you think about a hurricane, you think about a hailstorm. That's not always the case. Sometimes you just need a new roof, and there wasn't an event that caused that. It's just old, and it's time to invest in a new roof. If that's the case for you, Lifetime Roofing is happy to help you with that. It can be an intimidating step to take financially, understandably, but they've got financing options, 0% for 18 months. Even if there has been an event and you are filing a claim and you have a deductible that's pretty sizable and you want to get a new roof and you want to go through insurance, but you need to finance that deductible as well, they can do that at Lifetime Roofing. They have a team that can help you do that. And if you get that new roof from the folks at Lifetime Roofing, as of January 1st, you can get a lifetime workmanship warranty, from the folks at Lifetime Roofing. Check them out online, lifetimeroofingla.com. That's lifetimeroofingla.com. Okay, the college football season is now in the rearview mirror. It's been a wild 3 weeks of transfers. And I want to lay some groundwork for this discussion before I dive in, okay? Because there are layers to what I'm going to talk about here with this issue in college football. And I've put a lot of thought into this segment. I think it is completely fair to say that few schools have benefited from the transfer portal more than LSU. Is that reasonably fair? I tell y'all all the time, when there's a new rule put in place, the first thing I look at is, well, how does that affect LSU? How does that affect LSU? And when you think about Paul Skeens and Tommy White, and you think about Anthony Ianson, and you think about Jaden Daniels, you think about Angel Reese, you think about Anissa Morrow, you look at what LSU has brought in: Heisman Trophy winners, SEC Players of the Year, national championship centerpieces. LSU has benefited greatly from the transfer portal. And I think that it is a positive that Paul Skeens can leave the Air Force Academy to come to LSU, where he gets better resources, better facilities, better coaching, better development, and becomes the best pitcher on earth. I think it's great that Jaden Daniels can leave Arizona State, come to LSU, and have his career blossom the way that it did, because he's got Malik Neighbors and he's got Brian Thomas. I think that's awesome. I think there are real positives in allowing players an opportunity to try something new. I think that is good, and I think LSU has benefited from it. So I am not here to tell you I think the transfer portal is bad and everything has to go back to the way that it was, and that I'm an old curmudgeon who's just not keeping up with the times in college football. That's not the point of this segment. But when I look around college football and I see Washington's quarterback signing a deal and then taking a phone call and then trying to leave after he signs the deal, and a conference stepping in and a coach stepping in and a program stepping in, and the mess that has created, that's bad. Today, when I look at Darian Mensah, who is attempting to go into the transfer portal and is literally being sued by his school. Duke University is suing Darian Mensah, who is trying to transfer to Miami, conceivably because Miami struck out in the transfer portal at quarterback, and they're throwing all the money they have at it. And that is bad. It is bad that Duke is suing its quarterback. And this deal where players can transfer on any whim, and that LSU is signing 41 players in the transfer portal, I just think is ridiculous. That's a subjective thought. You can agree with that completely. You can disagree completely. I think it's ridiculous. And I think it is time that we take this circus that we have created in December and January, where players are transferring while their team is competing for a national championship. Like Bo Prabula was on Penn State's team in the playoff. We had this transfer portal window. Well, he's leaving. They're still playing. You've got the coach at Ole Miss who's going to the playoff. He's leaving. Like that is bad. It is bad when a coach is leaving a playoff team. It benefited LSU. That's great for LSU. But I'm just talking big picture. So what's the fix, Hunt? Like, what are you going to do? How are you going to fix that? Pandora's box is open. The genie's out of the bottle, whatever you want to talk about. Like, how are you going to fix it? Well, here's the deal. Here's what I would do. If you made me the czar, made me king of the college sports world, here's what I'm doing. You can transfer. Jump in the transfer portal, transfer. You don't have to sit out. You can do that once. You can transfer a second time. You will sit, or you need to have graduated. Because everyone being a free agent every year is just ridiculous. To me, it's ridiculous. And when I see the things that are going on and the tactics that are being used, it just rubs me the wrong way. And I don't think I'm limiting people's opportunity as student athletes if I tell those people you can transfer once, and then if you transfer again, you will sit out a year unless you have graduated. I don't think those are draconian penalties. If you want to tell me that in this multi-billion-dollar business, it's patently absurd for the student athletes to make $0 and for that to be illegal, I will absolutely listen to that argument. It's a big money game. It's a big money business. And for years and years and years and years, the student athletes put on the show and weren't compensated for that. It's like that is a harsh, harsh penalty to put on someone. You can't make any of this money. I don't think it's a harsh, harsh penalty to say you're transferring one time to not sit out. Because I don't feel like sitting here and clicking on Twitter and reading about more quarterbacks being sued for breach of contract by their – this does not happen in any other sport, in anywhere else. So the enforceable portion of this to me is to go to one transfer unencumbered. And I think that's great. If you go somewhere and you decide, well – I don't fit in here. It was a mistake, or maybe your coach leaves and you want to leave, or maybe you just weren't going to get the playing time you wanted. Transfer out. That's great. Get a fresh start. But this deal where you're hopping around every single time, and then you'll hear the deal, well, coaches can leave every time. Well, yeah, I mean, there are different standards for players and coaches. It's a different deal. I think that having some rules in place is okay. And we almost gotten to a point in collegiate athletics where there just aren't any rules. Like, the only rule I can come up with that I've found is you're not allowed to play for LSU on October 4th and Bama on October 11th. Like, that's about the only rule I can find. Everything else is just go do whatever you want. And, like, I think that's a little ridiculous. I think rules are okay. I think it's okay to put some guardrails in place. And I don't feel that I am robbing a generation of student athletes of an unalienable right to just transfer whatever you want. If I say you can transfer once, if you do it again, you got to sit. Because then you're going to essentially create some stability. And forgive me, I just think stability is okay. My favorite football program just signed 41 kids in the transfer portal. It's probably going to end up in a very successful football season with a really good coaching staff. My team will benefit from this and already has. I don't think any program nationally is going to benefit from the unlimited transfers like LSU baseball. Because LSU baseball is one of 11 teams that care. So what you've done is you've turned the entire sport into a farm system for LSU, Tennessee, Mississippi State, Arkansas, Texas, Texas A&M, and name your other school. Like, you've just – this is not a sour grape segment by me. My favorite team, LSU baseball, is the greatest benefactor of this. Skeens, White, Ianson, like national championships, 2 and 3 years. And I still think it's ridiculous. So, like, I've seen enough. I was thinking about doing this segment last week in the midst of all the craziness. I did not like the way that the Damon Williams things in Washington went. And that was LSU involved in it. And I still didn't like the way it went down. When somebody's a quarterback at a place and has agreed to be there, and then they're just fielding phone calls and can just leave high and dry in the middle, I don't find that to be a reasonable way to run a sport. And I don't find it to be a reasonable way to run a sport that Miami entertained its quote-unquote free agents, didn't get any of them, so they had to create a free agent and went and did so at Duke, and now Duke's filing suit against its quarterback. Nobody can look at this and go, yeah, I think we're making progress here. This is really good. It's not really good. It's stupid. So I think you got to put some rules in place. We've let all the rules go. Some of the rules were stupid, and we got rid of them. Some of the stuff that we do now I find to be stupid. And this Darian Mensah thing has kind of pushed me over the edge. I don't expect it to change. I think they're going to keep it as it is. We keep hearing coaches clamoring for change. We keep seeing media folks push back on that, and you see the great stuff that we saw on the field. And I want to be clear to kind of put a bow on this, because I opened with this today, and I opened with it after the Sugar Bowl. Still, when they go out there and play, the sports are awesome. The sports are awesome. But everything that goes on to get to the field seems ridiculous. Like, I can't look at an ACC school suing its quarterback. I don't remember the last time the New York Jets sued their quarterback. I don't remember the last time the Yankees filed suit against their third baseman. There are clear signs here that we've gone a little bit too far. And you always get to, well, what's the answer? And I don't have an NIL answer for you. I don't know how to fix that. You're always going to have boosters that are motivated to spend heavy money and to win, and it's going to outpace the market. I don't have an answer for that. I'm not smart enough to figure out the NIL stuff and to put some guardrails on that. I can figure out the portal once. You transfer once. I don't expect that to happen. I don't expect anybody to agree with me, but I feel strongly about it after watching what we've watched here over the course of the last few years. A lot of businesses, a lot of industries have non-competes, and the wild, wild west of college football is just a little bit more than I can handle at this point. So there's my 2 cents on the transfer portal. I'm curious. I'll read the Value Ford chat in the commercial break and see if anybody actually agrees with what I'm suggesting. I've got a strong feeling the man who sits in this chair in 20 minutes will strongly disagree with that sentiment, but that's okay. It's a lovely place for disagreement. I think it's ridiculous. Let's go back and close it out from the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank. We'll do that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
It's just such a huge bummer when you're looking around for your live read sheet and can't find it. But I did, and so I can tell you about Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. SwingEasyGCBR.com is the website. Just an awesome place to work on your game. These winter months are hard place. It's a hard time to work on your golf game. It's dark early. It's cold a lot. If it rains, it stays wet and nasty. It's just not a great time to work on your game unless you can go inside to Swing Easy Golf Club. They've got a great driving range setting. You can see all your relevant numbers. You can see your ball speed. You can see your carry numbers. You can see your spin rate. You can see the trajectory of the ball. It's incredibly accurate as well. I've been over to Swing Easy Golf Club a number of times now, and I've been blown away by the accuracy of the technology. Want to hit some drivers, want to hit some wedges, want to hit some irons, you can do it over at Swing Easy Golf Club. They're on Segan at Perkins. Just book a time. You get your individual bay. You crank some music up. You can drink a couple cold beers if you'd like. Glass of wine's available. They got seltzers too, and you can work on your golf game over at Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. Find them online, swingeasygcbr.com, swingeasygcbr.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Mind you, come on out and see me at Court to Table this evening. Got sports this evening. Always a great time to watch LSU basketball against Florida and 5 rounds. 5. Tonight, out of there by about 9:15. Tonight, out of there by about 9:15. Tonight, always a y'all come out and see us. Always a sports trip. Off the bench broadcast from here as well. Got Michelle Southern with Eagle 98.1 is just about 8 feet to my right. Brittany Rose with 100.7 The Tiger is just beyond that. Matt's going to be here until 6 o'clock on AFR. If you want to support the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, you can do it in a number of ways. They encourage monetary donations. You can remember giving season after the holiday ends. They've got great purchasing power here at the Baton Rouge Food Bank. They've got relationships with realtors, vendors, and that gives them an opportunity to buy in bulk or at wholesale. So just as little as $1 can provide up to 3 meals. You can also organize a food drive here, a fun drive. You can volunteer. In 2025, their volunteer hours almost exceeded 57,000. That's the equivalent of 27 full-time employees. So you can visit the volunteer calendar on the website. That's brfoodbank.org. brfoodbank.org is where you can find the website if you'd like to donate some time or some money here. It's been a great time for the Guarantee family here, celebrating 100 years in business here as Guarantee, and thanks to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank for having us here on this Tuesday. I'm curious about the future of college football, kind of on the piggyback of the segment I just did there, but more so talking about what we watched last night with Indiana winning that national championship. And I said this at the top of my show. I don't think there are a lot of you that were listening at 105 that are still here at 247. But I said at the top of the show, like, it was a watershed moment for the sport because forever and ever, I just assumed there are like 15 teams that can do this and everybody else need not apply. And that barrier was broken through last night. And it was not broken through in terms of a fluke. It was not broken through because one player showed up and revolutionized an organization. It was broken through by quality talent assessment, by quality development, by excellent coaching and execution. And they did it for 2 years, and it culminated in beating Oregon twice, Ohio State, and Miami. There's nothing flukish about that. That is the best football team in college football, and it was made at the worst program in the power conferences. And I'm curious how often I can expect that to happen. My gut tells me not very often. But it also tells me that we're not done. Like, I think if you get the right coach and you get the right transfers, that this door is open to anybody. Now, it helps to have a huge stadium, and it helps to have fertile high school recruiting grounds. But what Vanderbilt has been the last 2 years is not a complete fluke. We'll see what they are without Pavia. But Ole Miss is no joke. Ole Miss has been completely irrelevant my entire life, my whole life, completely irrelevant. They were one of the best teams in college football 2 years in a row. Now, they didn't get it done 2 years ago. They lost to Kentucky, which they should have never done. And then we all watched that game in Tiger Stadium. We play that game 3 more times. I'm not sure Ole Miss doesn't win it 3 times. But LSU won that night. but they've been really good for 2 years. And they've been relevant for like 4. And so you look at Vanderbilt, you look at Ole Miss, you look at Indiana, and you look at the best teams in the sport, the Ohio States, the Georgias, the Bamas, the Texases, if you want to go there from last year. They're not as good as the Saban machines. They're not as good as those early Kirby machines. And so as the bottom of the sport rises and the top of the sport comes back, everybody gets a swing at this thing. And last night was a historic moment. I'm not ruling things out for a lot of programs around the country. You have to get the right guy and get the players. That's really hard to do. Not everybody's just going to wave a magic wand and Signetti this thing into the playoff. But there are teams in the power leagues that I thought had no chance for a long time. They got a chance now, and that was absolutely proven in the ball game last night. Taylor, I think I got you back there in the studio. I did not talk to you in the break because our headsets went a little haywire there. But do we have any take it or leave it's there?
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, Hunt, the Buffalo Bills have fired head coach Sean McDermott. This was after another season failed to make it to the Super Bowl. He leaves Buffalo, though, with a 98-50 overall record, 8-8 in the postgame, including 2 AFC championship losses to the Chiefs. Buffalo made the right move. Take it or leave it.
I'll leave it. I think they got a good coach. I think he did a good job. I think you're more likely to bring a bad coach. I talked about this yesterday. I understand the expectation when you got a quarterback that good, but I don't think that this was as stale as Tomlin in Pittsburgh, that this was as stale as Harbaugh in Baltimore, even though I don't think Harbaugh was all that stale. Tomlin, they had reached the ceiling. They were bumping their head on it constantly. I think it was time for another set of eyes there. I think that McDermott did a really good job in Buffalo, and this was not a season that failed. They lost a game in overtime on a crazy referee call. I don't think that he was the problem. I think that was too outcome-based as opposed to process-based, so I wouldn't have made the call.
Duke starting quarterback Darian Mensah is entering the NCAA transfer portal. He submitted his request Friday just ahead of that midnight deadline. He was entering the second year of a 2-year deal with Duke that would pay him up to $4 million next season. If he leaves Duke, sources have told ESPN's Pete Thamel that his contract grants Duke his exclusive name, image, and likeness rights, which could prevent Mensah from earning revenue-sharing money at his next school unless the Blue Devils terminate his deal. Mensah to Miami, take it or leave it.
I mean, I got to leave it. I just can't imagine he's going to jump ship and not get a cent. That just doesn't seem like the best idea. Maybe there's enough NIL money that he can recoup. He just can't get the revenue sharing piece, and Miami can make him whole that way. Like, again, it's just very difficult to analyze something you don't fully have a grasp of because the information is not sitting in front of you. It's just something that I can't know unless somebody digs it up or somebody says it. So I know what Miami's doing. I know that they didn't get the quarterbacks they wanted out of the portal, so now they're just creating a free agent. That's what led me to the segment I just did. I just don't think that's a sustainable model. I don't think that's a good thing for the sport to have legal battles constantly over quarterbacks who may or may not want to leave school.
All right, I found this one for you. Reigning NCAA men's golf champion Michael Lasasso has joined Live Golf, foregoing his senior year at Ole Miss and forfeiting his chance to play in this year's Masters. Hunt approves of this decision. Take it or leave it.
Leave it. Guy had a chance to play in the freaking Masters, and he's going to play in a hit and giggle in Malaysia or wherever the heck they play Live Golf that nobody watches and nobody cares about. We'll see. We'll see how long Live exists and whether or not he's going to walk himself into a PGA Tour suspension. I just think it's incredibly short-sighted. I know there are probably a ton of people that are out there listening going, look at all the money that he's going to make, and it's guaranteed cash. And I understand how all this stuff works. But when you're that good, NCAA champion who's earned his way into the Masters and has a real shot to be on the PGA Tour, to jump to a dying league, I think is a mistake. But I don't know how much money he's getting, and we'll see how it all works out for him. Nobody's offering me that kind of cash, so I can't put myself in those shoes. But it's you're going to a dying product. We'll see.
All right, LeBron no longer an all-star starter. 21 consecutive years. It was announced that he is not a starter. Is this a new day and age in the NBA? Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. I think LeBron's sunset is here. He's still really good. We talked about this yesterday that Jordan and I did. The fact that he made the All-NBA team 21 years in a row, was an All-NBA player as a teenager and beyond his 40th birthday. That's, call it whatever you want. Call it GOAT. Call it greatest longevity. I don't care how you phrase it. What we've watched over the last 2 decades with him has been truly special. And I think that there are a lot of people that just don't like LeBron, so they'll diminish what we saw. We're not going to see this again. So I hope everyone's enjoyed it.
All right, that's it.
That's all we got. Appreciate you, Taylor, for making that happen. Appreciate the folks at the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank for having all of us out here on this Tuesday. Remind you one more time about their website. You can schedule to volunteer if you check them out at brfoodbank.org. That's brfoodbank.org. Missed any of today's show? Catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. Search Hunt Palmer Show. Like, subscribe, rate, and view. Always appreciate that. Hunt on LSU is where all LSU content lives. Hunt on Saints, where all our Saints content lives. I'll have some stuff on LouisianaSports.net about basketball after LSU in Florida tonight. Matt's going to drive you home next on After Further Review. I'm out of here. We'll see you tomorrow for a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google. Based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm